here. Greg Bear remains one of sci-fi's masters. Even after shedding this mortal coil recently as he did, and that's due to the corpus, no pun intended, that he has left behind. I'm still finding his books. I still have several that I have read and several that I have not read. I suspect that he's still writing them somewhere. Probably in the deadlines. Peter Russell is a minor soft porn producer and director who enjoys a small cult following. He's approached by a new tech company called Trans, which has developed a device that can communicate anywhere in the world at any time with anybody. No contracts necessary, just a one-time purchase price. And you have to buy a new one of these Trans unit when the battery wears out in a year, of course. But it's still quite revolutionary. It's still quite the product. And why do they approach Peter Russell? Well, that's because he's good friends, actually almost a servant of, a billionaire by the name of Joseph Benalyal. That's really about the best I'm going to do. Who the Trans company is trying to get seed money from, and Joseph promotes Peter's involvement in the company as one of his prices to participate. You got to hire my pal Peter or I'm out. Too happy to oblige, Trans hires Peter and gives him 10 of these units to pass around and test out. And then things get weird. Now, Peter is a wreck of a human being. One of his twin daughters was brutally murdered, and he fell into severe alcoholism, losing his wife and his remaining daughter and his small career. Joseph and his wife, Michelle, are his only contacts with reality, except for his best friend, Phil, who dies suddenly, and Peter has to gather up his ashes and set out to scatter them in the appropriate California location. And then other people start showing up. People who aren't really there or shouldn't be. Like Phil. Like his dead daughter. Lots of dead people, actually. What is going on? Well, it has something to do with that newfangled Trans unit, which, given today's politics, could be a funny statement. But this was written in 2004, before the current atmosphere, so any humor on Bear's part is unintended. Mine is intended, of course. Anyways, these units access various frequencies not used before, at least by living people. So you can see where this is going, eventually. Because holy Hannah, is this a slow read. Man, it takes well past the first quarter of the book to get into the actual story. Up until that time, this is a character study of a fairly likable guy who's pretty much given up on life. Until things start happening. This, of course, is what you expect from Bear. The opening of his books really usually have nothing to do with the story itself. Takes a while to get into it and tests the reader's patience, but it's Bear, so you hang on and you are generally rewarded. Generally. But not here. Because this doesn't quite deliver. You're always on the edge of the story breakout, but Bear does several annoying things that take you out of it at critical moments. Like when you finally discover the nature of his daughter's death, which is rather shocking and should have been a lead element. I'm not quite sure what Bear intends with this story, whether it's a character study or sci-fi horror, and yes, both can be done, as in the Expanse series, but Bear doesn't seem to know which one he's on. It's like someone jostles his elbow every once in a while and says, "Hey, Greg, you're actually writing a science fiction here, not a romance." Because this is science fiction, not horror as some have labeled it. There is a technical element which eliminates the supernatural, so this is best described as scary sci-fi. Not hard sci-fi. The tech isn't all that involved. And not all that good scary sci-fi either. Just isn't. Now, every author has his stinker books, right, Stephen King? And this one can be relegated to the sidelines because Bear followed this with the Mongolia cooperation and Hull 03, which is a hoot. But it seems like a marker. From this point forward, the bird does not fly so high. Still, it's Greg Bear, and there's a certain deference rightfully earned, which is the importance of a writer's career once they have established themselves. Now, you expect a certain level of professionalism after that and have no qualms about picking up one of their efforts, like, I did. And if I'm correct, I think, yes, it's signed. Even though it disappoints a bit. Old guy here. See you later.